Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back to our Filter Check podcast, and I am Wawa.
And I am Alyssa.
So we are the host for today's episode 2. And a quick brief on to introduce us. We are students from University Polytech Malaysia, and we are currently in semester 6. And I believe and I hope that the listeners and audience are already know that this podcast is a part of our Sulam project. So if you guys don't know what is Sulam is stands for Service Learning Malaysia, University for Society. So students who are under this course will have to engage with community issues with real practical initiatives. So we decided for our project we want to do another approach by doing podcast, which is advocacy approach, and we think that this platform will engage some sort of awareness to a wider audience, and we hope that this podcast will reach out to the audience and listeners who have experience in all the issues that we will bring up in our podcast episodes. So that's a bit about Sulam. Now, for today's episode is titled The Focus Fog. Why we can't put the phone down? So a quick brief about the focus fog. The focus fog in simple terms means that mental cloudiness that we feel when we scroll on our phone for too long. And for example, like it's mentally drained when you're scrolling for too long, but you still have the courage, you still have the urge to reach for your phone and
keep on scrolling.
So sometimes you will feel like okay, I'm gonna scroll for my Instagram or TikTok for like 1 minute, and suddenly it's been like 2 hours 40 minutes into, and then that is focus fog. So to dive into deep into our topic, focus fog, we are very honored to have a special guest with us. So Alice, who do we have here?
Okay, so today, we are joined by Ms. Arifah Razman from the Our Mental Care, a certified counsellor with expertise in cognitive behaviour therapy and rational emotive behaviour. So Assalamualaikum, Ms. Arifah, how are you today?
Assalam. So far so good. Been fasting. We are in Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
So your podcast will be published during Ramadan?
After Raya.
After Raya. See.
Okay, so before we dive into the focus fog, I would like you to briefly introduce yourself to our listeners and share about your professional background, particularly your experience working with students and digital habits.
Okay, so basically my name is Arifah, as you guys know. I'm the founder and also managing director of Venture House Bahad. So our brand is the Our Mental Care. So the Our Mental Care is actually already been 4 years here in Tamarin Square, Cyberjaya. We have a lot of therapists. So we have list of therapists, including counselors, registered counselors, and also registered clinical psychologists. So Our Mental Care basically offering mental health screenings, individual therapy, family therapy, couple therapy. We also do diagnosis for mental health disorders. And yeah, we've been here for 4 years already, and this is my initiative. Previously, I've been working as a student counsellor for Biasa Peneraju students in Sunway University, but it's only for like 2 years until I continue my study in masters, and now here I am, founded my own center to help out with more community here. Yeah.
So have you ever joined Sulam before?
I don't think so. This is my first time hearing about Sulam.
It's okay. So today we are going to have, I hope, an amazing experience for all of us today. So I see that you are familiar with students and digital.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what first made you interested in studying attention, behavior, or digital overuse?
Okay, so basically, because I'm also a student, and I'm also, as you grow, you always been a student, you always learn throughout your day, not even in institution also, but along the journey, we're always learning as a mother, as a, as you're working, you're always learning. So, and also we always have digital, right? We always have phone by ourselves. We are working with it. This is a tool even in workplace. So this is very close to us. So this is very interesting because as you know, we are working with tools, but as time goes by, there's a lot of issues coming out because of the tools itself. So because of the social medias, because of the laptop, phones. So all of this being affected as well for our attention, and even our personality is being affected and impacted because of this. And a lot of my clients now that I'm working with also have this fog, mental fog, and it has been affecting with their family matters, their work performance also being affected. So all of this has become a huge issue actually in the community.
So your clients mostly students or young adults?
There's varies. So there's students, adults. Most of them are adults lah in working environment.
Oh, I see. Okay. So let's move on.
Alright. So moving on to our first segment, understanding the drivers of the fog. So in this segment, we will go through about understanding the dopamine loops, FOMO. So if you don't know what FOMO means, fear of missing out, and some kind of attention captures. So just like I said earlier, we've been calling this feeling of mental cloudiness a fog. A focus fog. So from a psychological standpoint, what is actually happening when we feel like we just can't put the phone down?
Okay, so when we call something as a foggy feeling, right? So it means that it's difficult in concentrating, okay, restless, mental fatigue, mental drain, and the urge to keep on checking and scrolling. So what happens in our brain is actually our attention system is being fragmented. So it means our attention span is become divided, and our reward system is overstimulated. Okay, as you scroll, you feel happy, right? You feel not like happy. It becomes there's a dopamine that is released in your brain. Okay, and then our self-control is being fatigued because we cannot control. We control. We use it. So imagine like our control, right? Imagine it in a bottle. So we use it, it depleted time by time. So that is what happened with self-control. It's not unlimited source. It's like energy as well. So as we use, it become depleted, fatigue and drain, something like that. So that is mental fog. So it's difficult in concentrating. We live, we breathe, we do daily activities, but we are not there. And our brain is like somewhere else. We are not in the moment. Yeah, that is what mental fog is. Yeah.
So from what you have said, I think for in simpler way, I can say that I think that is a behavioral patterns that we ourselves create, and it's our brain that is just responding to the reinforcement.
It's more towards habits. Behavior, so it's like habit lah, behavior, right? So it becomes a habit and it becomes automatic at this point. So we scroll, and this is the side effects lah. The foggy is the side effect of it.
Right. So I think that habits links closely to concept of dopamine loop. So
yes.
Why can you explain why does getting a notification feel so rewarding?
Okay.
So even though the message is not that important to us.
Understand? Because notification is exciting because we don't know. It's like something that what is it about? We keep on exciting lah. We want to see what is it? What is the? It's like, do you know now the trend is mystery box? Blind box, something like that. Why we buy blind box? Okay, exactly, because it keeps on exciting. We are excited. So that is what notification do. Because when we click, then we know what is the message is all about. So dopamine loop ni is not given after we receive a reward. It's actually anticipating a reward. So we get dopamine if we anticipate the rewards. So as we scroll, so it's become a loop. So as we scroll, we want to know what else. Is there notification? Is there some new videos that is more interesting? Or no, this is boring. Scrolling and see whether the next video will be more interesting or not. Something like that. So we anticipate in the process of like scrolling, getting the rewards. The rewards is the excitement lah.
So it's not about the notification itself, it's about the anticipation of something exciting.
Yes, like blind box.
So
something like that.
basically chasing unpredictability.
Betul?
Yeah. So I think this also ties closely to something that many young people experience right now. It's like a trend now to be a FOMO. Gen Z is often criticized for having a FOMO. So how does this psychological trigger specifically fuel social media addiction?
Okay, so FOMO is fear of missing out.
Yes.
So basically, do you guys ada rasa fear tu ke? Do you guys feel the fear?
Sometimes, yeah.
And when you feel the fear, what is your response? Feel like threatened, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like anxious macam.
Correct. Exactly. So fear of missing out is when you feel like you are lefting out lah of something. So basically Gen Z, when you talk about Gen Z, they are already born with social medias. So at very young age, everyone is using their phones everywhere. So they are very, very tight and very intertwined with social medias lah, or phones. So that makes them feel like belongings and identity is rooted in the social media or online medias. So this when all people being connected and this is their identity, right, and this is their belonging, they feel like this is their belonging and this is norm to them. When they see something their friends are posting, meeting out, there's an achievement being posted, so all of this makes you feel like you are not you are left behind, something like that. So that's why you feel like it's a FOMO and you feel like it's a threaten lah. You feel so if you feel threatened, you feel anxious. That's correct. So that's what happens with the FOMO basically. So you feel anxious, you feel like, oh, I need to keep up, I need to post something, oh, I need to do something, I need to update something on my social media, something like that. So you have to keep on up to date with the trend, up to date with your friends all the time with social media. So you will spend a lot of time scrolling.
This feeling of FOMO, right? Is it like normal feeling? Is it, you think everyone will have that feeling?
If you use social media, if your life is depending on social media, it will be like that, FOMO. So we don't want the social media to be something that we depend on, but rather is a tool. So we have our life, we just carry out our daily life, but social media is something that we use as a tool in our daily life. That is the way it is, supposedly. But right now, we are depending on that. So daily life, makan ke, you eating lunch or you go out, you're driving, phone is like always there. So it's controlling us instead of us controlling them. So that is where it is something that is out of the way lah.
So it's the belief that we attach to it. The
Correct.
belief that, so
correct.
I think
without any consciousness, without any control.
So it's really about challenging the must and shoulds that we tell ourselves. Like FOMO, like we should do this, we must post this to fill in the need. And then so for now that we understand the drivers of the fog, here comes the big questions. How do we clear it and what can we do about it? So Alice now will guide us into the practical strategies.
Okay, now we are going to continue our podcast with the second segment, which is the focus toolkit actionable strategies. As you may know, our listeners are mostly students and then young adults who are probably having problems like our main issue, the focus fog. So we want our listeners to leave this episode with a focus toolkit. So based on your background, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, what are some realistic techniques students can use to start reclaiming their attention today? Maybe you can give like 2 or 3 tips.
Okay, sure.
Or maybe more.
Sure. So CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. So how we use our cognitive to control our behavior. So that is what it is lah basically. So when we talk about cognitive, we have to be aware of our cognitions. So what are we thinking? What are thoughts there? So we have to control the thoughts first to control the behavior, right? So with using a CBT, right, so you have to challenge your thought. So that's why you have to start first with a reflection. So if you go to a therapy, what you do is actually reflection lah with the therapist. So therapist will ask you what you do this, and then you will start to like recollect and reflect back your days, what happened, why you feeling sad, or you feel depressed. So that is basically what you need to do every day, to reflect. Because when you reflect and you sit down and reflect, that's where you know where went wrong. Because if you don't spend time to reflect, how would you know? So the first is awareness lah. How do you want to know and understand that there's something that need to be changed? And when we talk about cognitive, you have to stop and think about it. So you have to think about it. And there's when you mention about I have to reply, I must reply to it. Oh, I have a notification, I have to quickly reply to it immediately, like right now. We have to respond to it right now. Oh, Khairul Amin, posted new recipe Ramadan. I have to watch it.
To
like share. So that is the must do. But is it the must do? Is it important? Is it your life is depending on it? Are you going to, face any trouble if you don't do it? Actually, it's not. It's the priorities, right? So it's not priority. It's not affecting your life at all, actually.
Yeah.
So this is something that we have to challenge our thoughts. So when we challenge our thoughts, instead of I must respond to it immediately, you will say that important things will come to you. So if it's important, it will reach you regardless. It will reach to you. So it's not important first. When it is not important, spend your time more towards what is more important lah. So you have to, as you sit and reflect, you have to ask yourself what you're going to do, what is your plan, what is your life plan. So you have to address that, your priorities. I'm not saying that social media is bad and you should quit it. I'm not saying that, because sometimes it's very useful. There's a lot of information, and some is entertainment, right? So you are entertained, but you have to make sure that it's not controlling yourself. You have to make sure that you only spend for entertainment for like one day, how many hours in a day. So you have to set that boundaries. Second is set the boundaries. So when you set the boundaries, you have to make sure that your phones are not on the table, for example, that easily accessible for you to go and check all the time. Because at this point, it's a habit, right? So whenever the phone rang, whenever the notification is pop up, you're always going to reach out to it, regardless. But if it's so easy to reach out, it will really hard to break the habit. So you have to weaken the habit. So make sure put it a bit far away for you, so that you feel like jauh lah, malah lah, nantilah. Later on I will go and check. So that is something that you can do to set boundaries. That's where I want to say set boundaries. Don't put your phones on the table. Make sure that within 15 minutes after you wake up, don't just reach out to your phone. Try to breathe first, enjoy, and then you make sure what else you have to do in the morning, rather than you just go and scrolling. Because once you are scrolling, you are born to
it's addictive.
It's addictive. You will keep on and keep on and keep on. It's really hard for you to stop.
When you talk about set boundaries, is it we have to delay our time, checking DMs, scrolling, instead of banning it completely?
Actually, you have to ask yourself why you are opening it. What do you want from opening it, and when do you stop? So maybe you have like a 30 minutes break. After you are doing work, you have a 30 minutes break. And then maybe you ask, before you open your Instagram, right, to replies on DMs, or you posted your stories, stuff like that. Maybe you ask yourself, what I want to do when I open this Instagram. So I want to check DMs, I want to reply to my friends, I want to post the stories, I want maybe like a few friends just to check their updates. But until what time? So that's how you said, I have 30 minutes break, so I want to use just like 15 minutes only. So set your time. So make sure you're cognitive, right? Being really upfront with you. What do you want to do? Where are you going? What is the purpose of you using the apps? And reply to it. So that is something that you can do lah. It's not like quitting. You can still reply to your friends. You still can connect with your friends, but make sure that you are doing it purposely. It's not mindless. We don't want to do it something that is mindless.
That makes sense.
So we have to create our own screen
time. You can. Also, because when we talk about dopamine loop, right? Dopamine loop is anticipating rewards, right? So when we have to relearn or we have to retrain our brain to rewards only can be obtained after an effort. So you have to connect like that. So it's not like scrolling without any effort. You can just scroll. So what you should do is you have to set your time. You only work for 1 hour, and then you can have like 30 minutes scrolling time. So it feels like, oh, I've done so much already. I've been accomplishing work already. I can spend 30 minutes, but only like up to 30 minutes. You have to put the boundaries. Back to the boundaries. Yeah, you have to put the boundaries, and then you have to do work again. So you will feel more fulfilled rather than you just keep on scrolling with no work done, and suddenly it's been 3 hours on social media. So
Okay. For the second question, a lot of students believe they are great at multitasking with their phone. For example, like scrolling through TikTok and then switch to threads, or scrolling through threads while watching YouTube at the end of their corner of the phone. For your opinion, in your opinion, is this a real skill or is it just making our focus fault worse?
have you done that?
Of course.
What do you think?
I think it's kind of drain in the end of the day. It's not like I'm thinking of, oh, I'm doing this. Like this is macam hebatnya. No, but this is I think it's like draining me in the end of the day.
Agree. I also tried that. While doing work, I'm listening to like a podcast behind, maybe learning something, Quran something, or play something on the background. But I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on my work. So in the end of the day, I have to like rewind back the video, listen back. Okay, so you actually multitasking is not something that you can do at the same time.
Yeah.
It's rather you are switching here and there, back and forth. So you are switching tasks actually. So when you are switching tasks, like you said, when we switch tasks, the task is not being completed yet, but we are switching to another task, and then another task, and then back to it and back to it. So it's never accomplished. Focus. Our attention is not. Our attention are not focused on one thing. Rather, it's been fragmented. So it means divided into here and here and here. Stop here, continue here. Stop here and continue here. So it's really drain lah. If like that, because you are not focusing and done, and focusing on the next fully and done, focusing on the next one. You're not doing that. You're just jumping here and there with a full speed of 100% attention, but at the end of the day, it's draining you.
So that's not something that we can call as multitasking. Oh, I can multitask. I can listen to music while watching, while scrolling to threads.
It will become less accurate, and it will take more time for you to accomplish a certain task. So I do that sometimes as well. I do also a few things at the same time, but your performance is not so great lah. To compare with you focus one thing, get it settled, moving on to the next thing. At least you already accomplish a few things first, rather than you are switching, but you don't accomplish any. All of them are still in progress, so there's no point. But
I think students, they can relate this a lot, because sometimes when even me myself, I'm doing my assignment while listening to music, or sometimes I'm like scrolling TikTok and doing assignments, and then the focus just went away, to the assignments, and then I just stick to my phone instead. So
but when you listen to music, right, you don't require a lot of attention to it. Because it's in the background. I think that is a bit more acceptable lah, to listen to music, because I do also listen to music when I study, when I read, because it become a mood setting. You set up the room, you set up the environment to read, right? So I don't think that is much impacted lah. But when it comes to something that you have to focus to really listen to get a key point, a message to it, that is something that you will divide your attention. So like when you listen to music, you don't want to get a message out of the music, right? You just want to enjoy being a background noise. It's not something that you want to get a message out of it. So you just want to enjoy it, right? So you can just put it at the back. I don't think that. But watching YouTube, watching TikTok, there's a message that will given to you, right? So that one will require a lot of attention. So that one you have to like put it aside first, yes.
Now for the last question for this segment, for someone who feels overwhelmed by the idea of digital detox, what are some small gentle habits shift you recommend that won't feel too restrictive?
Okay, so when we talk about detox, digital detox, I think it's a trend as well,
Yes.
kan? Digital detox, where we spend in the campsite, 2 days, 3 days without phone. Cannot get to these people, right? Because they are off social media and stuff like that. Is it going to be only for the 3 days?
Obviously not.
Kan? So it's only like for 3 days je lah yang you buat the retreat, you buat the detox. Only for 3 days lah you are off the social media. But what happens after the 3 days? What happens after the detox? Social media detox? Digital detox?
Detox.
So what happens with digital detox after that? So you cannot detox it entirely, taking it out, because we are really social media is really a tool for us lah. It's something that we can connect, and I think in this whole world, if we don't have social media, it will be a lack. In my opinion, it will be a lack for that person if they don't use social media at all, because social media you can have a lot of news, you can get a lot of information. So instead, you should do a new habit with social media, not entirely detoxing yourself with social media, but instead you have to have a new habit, a new routine that is much more healthier, much more beneficial for you instead. So how to do that? So something like I said, delay from waking up, delay from watching your phones right after when you wake up, no phone during meals, maybe hours, you can watch out for your hours on social media. So if today, I think iPhone's got that information on the phone, right? When how many hours we spend screen time, how many hours we spend on to, maybe we have a target. Maybe we put a target. So this week, my target is to get only 7 hours of the week. Maybe next week we have 6. Maybe next week 5. Maybe tomorrow I have a few more work with social media. Maybe I have to spend more time. Maybe next week I have a holiday. I want to spend watching Netflix, watching social media more. Maybe set more time on that. Be more flexible. It's not like something that you have to rigidly follow. You have to ask yourself as well, what do you want to do? What is the goal? Again, back to what is your goal? What do you want to do? What is the purpose of you? What do you want to get from these apps? So you can, if you want to refrain yourself from social media, you can use like an app, that blocker, app blocker. You can set your time with the app blocker. So if you spend 25 minutes on studying, maybe you can set the app blocker for that 25 minutes, and then you open it only for like 10 minutes, and then set again for 25 minutes. Have that so that you can keep still moving, still growing, still something. And then charge your phone out of, so when we charge our phone, right, we still scrolling while changing, right? So maybe we have to stop that, habits. Maybe we charge, make it full, only then we can use it, something like that.
It's all about discipline lah.
Yeah, betul. Any change, if you want to change something about yourself, right? If you want to change something about your behavior, changes need to happen. How something to change if there's no changes, right?
So like you said earlier, like the camping, I love to camping, and I have done that digital detox. So in my own experience, after I dah balik rumah from the camping, I think I am more focused on my phone. Like, what am I missing out? I become FOMO, I like, since I shut down my phone for 3 days, and it's not, I think I am more focusing on what is in my phone instead of like.
So you have to correct back your condition, correct back your thoughts. So saying that, actually, I'm off the apps, I'm off the social media for 3 days. Nothing important actually coming. There's no emergency. I think, that's quite good. Something more positive rather than, am I missing out? Because that will become anxious. Because your thoughts, like CBT, right? When I said cognitive will affect your behavior, that is something what it is. So if you feel like, I'm missing out, so of course you feel anxious because you are missing out. But what if you have that thoughts, a more helpful, more growing mindset, which is, actually I'm quite good with not checking in. Actually, life is pretty, I can enjoy the time with the nature, stuff like that. I don't actually need social media as much.
Yeah.
So you will feel much more better. You are not like anxiously and then keep on scrolling for hours and hours. Maybe you can still scrolling for like a few minutes, a few hour, but not depending yourself on social media entirely, that you feel like missing out, that you feel that there's something that you have to do, you must to do, because you're still breathing in the end of the day.
So can
without
I say
social media.
The experience that Alyssa has experienced is also a dopamine loop that she is rewarding herself after the camping.
Correct. Because our brain has already, because we have been scrolling, like I said, Gen Z. You guys are Gen Z, right? Because Gen Z are born with social media already in their hands. So you guys are, your brain, our brain lah, it's not just your guys lah. Our brain are already being shaped towards social media. The dopamine is easy access. You just scroll and you get happiness. Who doesn't want it? But that is how addiction happens. That's how addiction happens.
Okay, so thank you for explaining that so clearly for this segment. Now we are going to continue with the segment 3.
So segment 3, we will go through about persuasion and purposeful usage of social media lah. And before that, thank you again Miss Arifah for the segment 2 previously, and I think those strategies that you just gave feels very practical and realistic, especially for students who may feel overwhelmed of their social media usage. So now, before we wrap up, I like to see the bigger picture of this whole focus fog thingy. So if we don't address this focus fog now, what could the long-term implications be for the students academically and mentally?
Okay, so what happens if we always cannot concentrate? What happens, we cannot concentrate, of course, right? We cannot concentrate, we are not enjoying ourselves because we cannot concentrate, our mind are somewhere else. So we cannot enjoying ourselves, we're not being ourselves, we're not being with the nature, being with the people at the moment. So that is something that we are losing touch. Actually, we are losing touch with the reality. So instead we are doing it online, right? And then of course, when our concentration is depleted, our academia will be affected. So there will be reduced academia stamina, because exams, if I'm not mistaken, SPM for sejarah paper is like 3 hours. And that means 3 hours without social media. And how, if you cannot cope with that, how would you attend SPM, right? It's something that you have to do. That is priorities. That is something that you have to do. In work, you cannot bring your phone to work. It might be affecting your performance, right? So all of that is related to your results, to your future, to your well-being. It will become also poor deep thinking skills. So when you are fogging, your mind cannot operate with a full mental energy, because it's drained, right? Mental is drained. So it means that for deep thinking levels, we have to pay more attention. We have to, it's more complicated than, simple nak makan mana, where do you want to eat after this. It's more complicated than that. But if you don't have energy for more deep thinking skills, it will be affected. So you cannot do any more, deep thinking skills. You cannot solve issues that is more complicated, and then your anxiety, of course, will be more increased. You will feel more anxious. You will be more aware of what you are doing, perception of other people, following the trend, following the people that you are following, whatever you're following, right, on social media. So always anxious, always anxiety, and then when you are feeling more anxious, anxiety, you are restless lah. And then what happened? Also, because as we scroll, we are being rewarded, right? But if we don't get it, we feel more frustrated, we feel annoyed, we feel irritable, we feel boring, and then our frustration level will be, tolerance will be very low. So we get more frustrated, more irritated without social media, because we are addicted already to it, right? Without it, we feel more irritated, we feel more annoyed. So we become this whole people that is not the best people that we can hang out with lah. People don't like to hang out with this kind of people lah. That is more frustrated, sikit nak marah, irritated, annoyed. So because of social media only, your tolerance of frustration is being affected. So it's not you are frustrated because you don't see the social media. You are frustrated over a small thing. Because in social media, you don't like it, you just scroll it away.
Yeah.
You don't like the content, you scroll it away. You can mute them, you can block them. But in real life, when you have an issue or like a small matter, you just don't get your order right, maybe, and then you suddenly you just grab your phone, make it viral, you post it on the thread. But something is actually very small. You can just change the order. You can always ask for a new one.
Communication is the
So
key.
you become these people that is always not happy. You know, you're not happy, everything has to be right, everything have to be instant. So the personality of these new people, you know, we are creating, this is the generation that we are living in, is much more negative, right? If you go and see social media nowadays also, there's a lot of things that are negative, right? But of course there's also the positive ones, of course, but it's really hard for the brain to catch the positive things. Actually, this is a fun fact for you guys. Our brain is the tendency to pay attention to negative thing is much higher than the positive one. We catch negative thing much higher because it is rooted from our survival traits. We have traits, right? So survival trait means that whenever everything is wrong or negative, we have to survive. Something like that. So back in psychological perspective, back then, like evolutionary theory, we are, apes, right? We are, living in the forest. So whenever danger comes, we have to be very protective of ourselves. We have to protect ourselves, stuff like that. So that is still remain in our brain until today.
Is that the reflect?
It's a fight or flight response. Have you heard about it?
This is the first time I heard that.
Oh, so whenever there's a threat, so remember imagine we are in the forest, okay, and then there's a tiger in front of us. Negative, right? It's a threat, right? It's negative, right? So our brain has to react immediately to survive, to still be alive. So that's why our brain are very keen to negative things to keep us alive. So when we see a threat, our brain will turn on or activates a flight or fight response. So flight or fight response is fight. So when you see a tiger, you want to fight it or you want to fly. So you want to run away from it. But in real world, there's no tiger because we don't live like that anymore, right? So there's no tiger, there's no real threat. But what do we have is a perceptive threat. So what we assume as a threat. So for example, on social media, someone is hanging out with friends and then we feel like we are missing out. So it's a threat. So remember I said threat response. So when we threat response, we want to fight it. So we want to, do something similar or compensate it, or we want to fly, we want to run away. So sometimes that's why we can be depressed. This is the same route as well juga lah. That could feel like depressed or down. You feel down because you fly, you run away from the reality, you run away from the feeling of missing out, because missing out means you are a failure, right? You fail up to the standards of where people
Right
is.
now in social media, there's a lot of people who are rage bait,
Rich bait.
Yeah. They rage bait people to get more comments, more
to make us
engaged.
mad at them. They make like silly comments, so we make something like so we respond in negative way.
Because our brain are very rooted with the negative things. And just another fun fact, because I'm doing a couple therapy as well. So when we partners, right? When we have partners, boyfriend, girlfriends, this is scientifically proven, it takes 5 positive things to cover 1 negative things. So imagine if you have, like, you do a big negative thing. You have to do 5 big positive things. So it's really hard. When you do something negative is very alarming to our brain. So the impact is very big to our brain. We pay attention more to it, we react more fastly. So when you see something is negative around you, if you think like your environment is negative, you have to do something about it, because you will always react to it negatively, and it will impact you as well.
So that's really highlight how this isn't just a small habits, but it actually shapes how our brain function
and how we behave.
How we behave. So I think it's actually quite concerning when we think about how constant that distraction might affect us, might affect our focus, especially for students, for their academic settings and so on. So for the next question, how do we shift from being passive scrollers to more intentional users?
Okay, so back to the purposeful usage, right? So you have to ask your purpose. So before you open an app, maybe you have to ask, why am I opening the app? What do I want to get from the app? And then when will I stop? So put the boundaries, set your time. If it's so hard because you are so distracted with notifications, stuff like that, you can use app blocker. You can use a lot of things, and then maybe connect more with the people, actual living things that is in front of you, living in a moment. That is very important. So I know a lot of people is having difficulty in making simple conversation with families member. I'm not sure whether you, so that is something that we should improve on, right? Because these are people that it matters to you. It's a bloodline to you, right? It's family. I know sometimes in a younger age, we might feel like friends are more important and family are not so. But in the end of the day, these are the people who you share blood with. These are some people that you always come to. When we ask for emergency contact in hospital, we don't write our friend's name because they ask for a relationship, right? So try to make connection with people, with animals, with nature, make more meaningful habits, make more meaningful activities, so that you will have a meaningful life. If you spend your day, your time with something that is not important, actually something that you just scroll away, just for fun, and your life, is it fun? Is it meaningful? Is it meaningful?
So the idea of small behavior adjustment feels much more sustainable than digital detoxing.
Quit immediately is impossible. In my opinion, is impossible lah. Because this is how we reach people. It's very useful. Actually, social media, internet is very useful. It's very good. So we should use it, but make sure we use it as a tool, not the social media using us and cost our life, basically.
So for someone right now who feels like maybe they feel like overwhelmed and thinks that, I've been like this, I've been focus fogging for years, so it's too late to change my digital habits. So what would you say to them?
In life, there's no limit, there's no end time. Like if you surpass this age, you cannot change. There's nothing. In psychology, even when we treat clients, our clients are even after retired age. We do have clients after retired age, 60s, 70s. We also still have these clients. So it means that whenever your brain is still working, there's still change, because our brain is very powerful. Our brain is very capable. They are very adaptive as well. So when we change, we can adapt to any changes actually of the environment that we put ourselves into. So no, it's not too late. It's never too late. Even if you are 30s, 40s, 50s, 70s, some more, you still can change, and something can change. It's just that the changes that have to be made, the effort that counts. It's not the results. So because we are also looking into results, right? When we post in social media, we want to see achievement. We only post the achievement. We rarely post something that is not achievement lah, basically. But the thing is, in life, in real life, achievement is not something that matters as much. The effort is. The effort. So we have to shift our perspective into effort. Effort is what counted, not achievement. Because achievement, sometimes you can get it, but sometimes you don't. There's a lot of factor around achievement. It's like you study, right, students? When you study, and sometimes after the day, when you want to do your examination, suddenly you have a period cramp, and then you cannot focus because you are sick. So that is something you cannot control, right? You don't plan for a period to come on that day. So that is something. So your result is bad because of that. So but is it a failure?
No, I think no.
Yeah, shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the one that tells you if it's a failure or not.
So the thoughts of I cannot change is just another thoughts that we can question ourselves. and I think the change is still possible, but we can take a small step to start and change our digital habits. So that really ties everything together, from dopamine loops to the beliefs driving FOMO, and it shows that awareness is the first step toward behavioral change. So we have approached to the end of our discussion. Ready?
So unfortunately, we have come to the end of our podcast. So to summarize today, we learned that our difficulty putting the phone down is not just about weak willpower. It's linked to dopamine loop, FOMO, and attentional capture. So before we end our podcast today, to Miss Arifah, what's one final message you'd like to leave to our listeners as they begin their own filter check journey?
Filter check journey?
Filter check journey.
Okay, so my final say is to set your goal. So, and the goal should not be quitting social media, but the goal is to stop let social media think for us and decide for us for our life. So we take back our control. Filter check journey begins by noticing when you scroll, why you scroll, and how you feel after. How you feel after you scrolling?
Happy.
You happy?
Yeah.
Okay lah. Kalau you happy, okay lah. Tapi if you feel like foggy, you cannot focus, then you have to rethink back and reassess back.
Training.
Retrain your
Okay. So thank you so much for your heartwarming message, and thank you for this meaningful experience for all of us. And I am sure that all of your advice are gonna be so helpful to the students who are listening. And let's continue.
Okay, so thank you again to Miss Arifah. We couldn't have done this episode without you, honestly. So thank you for helping us clear the focus fog. And to our listeners and audience, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Filter Check Podcast. And don't forget to follow our social medias in Instagram, TikTok, Spotify and YouTube. You can search up The Filter Check Podcast. And maybe you can share this episode to someone who have experienced the focus fog. Maybe you can spread the awareness, because a moment of awareness can be the beginning of your filter check journey. So if today's episode resonated with you, you can start small, pause before you scroll, and ask yourself why. So,
and also, if you need help, you can come to the center. There's always a people as you scrolling, you are seeking for help, right? You're seeking for something. Seek us, the professionals. So you are not alone in this journey. If you feel like you are, you are lost, you feel that you don't know where to go, you don't know what to do about your condition, you can always come to us.
Yeah. The Our Mental Care.
The Our Mental Care.
Shout out to the Our Mental Care.
Only how many hours away from UPTM?
40 minutes.
Not even an hour. So you can always come here, students. Your mental health important.
So this has been the Filter Check, because sometimes clarity starts with awareness. Bye. Thank you for watching.